Hello everyone, welcome to PRATHAM Test Prep. My name is Ashish Bhargav. Welcome to another episode of daily news analysis that we do from Monday to Friday. And as I told you, like in each and every session, newspaper is very important source for every aspirants who are preparing for the exam. And majorly in this news analysis, we discuss about the Hindu and Indian Express. But we also discuss about any Supreme Court verdict, which is very important for your exam perspective. And one more important thing that is that if you are preparing for, if you are new in this channel, please subscribe our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon so we'll get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. And I hope that you guys are doing well. आप सारे अच्छे होंगे. So what we discuss in news analysis, we discuss about like national news, international news, economy based news, sports based news, science and tech, summits and conference, personal news, and we also discuss about any Supreme Court verdict, any amendments, any bills which is in the parliament. And here is the quote of the day that nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And here is questions of the day. We'll ask you the 5 questions after the session, right? चलो. And quick tips में आज हम जानेंगे G7 countries को learn करने के लिए with the help of mnemonics. सबसे first आपको इसमें आप देख रहे होंगे most success in World Cup, ODI World Cups is रोहित शर्मा. Second position पे है क्रिस गिल, third पे AB डिविलियर्स, fourth पे रिकी पॉन्टिंग and then ब्रेंडन मैकम. So ये जो रोहित शर्मा जी हैं ये ODI वर्ल्ड कप्स में मोस्ट सक्सेस 56 बाय रोहित शर्मा. तो ये रिकॉर्ड टूटा. और यहाँ पे सबसे फर्स्ट न्यूज़ आपके सामने है वो है आपका विच इज़ CAG could have done better. सो जो कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, that is the most important institution of the country to ensure public accountability of the executive. मतलब ये जो होता है the public account के लिए होता है for the executive. As you know, हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को चलाने के लिए जो हमारी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया होती है वो 3 तरीके से काम करती है. पहला होता है आपका लेजिस्लेचर, उसके बाद होता है हमारा एग्जीक्यूटिव, and third one is judiciary, right? So ये executive के लिए होता है. It means that यहाँ पे executive head of the nation is president and executive head of the nation जो government of India होती है that is PM, which is head of the council of ministers as well. So CAG work necessity involves pointing out the irregularities, inefficiencies and leakage and corruptions in our public financial management system, right? जिसे हम कहते हैं public financial management system, PFMS. And उसके relations क्या हैं between government and the CAG are generally like adversarial. So CAG की reports होती है are known for their political neutrality, right? And जो CAG report करती है हमारी, तो CAG की जो रिपोर्ट्स होती है ऑन द कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स, 2G के ऊपर, कोल एंड अदर स्कैम्स दैट आर स्टिल अलाइव इन पब्लिक मेमोरी. अपॉइंटमेंट कैसे होती है CAG की, उसके बारे में अगर आप जानने की कोशिश करें. सो द ओनली अदर टाइम द इंस्टीट्यूशन अट्रैक्ट्स मीडिया अटेंशन इज एट द टाइम ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट्स ऑफ द कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल. नो अदर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अथॉरिटी हैज सच एन आर्बिट्ररी एंड opaque procedure for appointment, where the government of the has a sole role to appointing the CAG without prescribed qualification or establishment norms. However, you should know about the CAG has been in the news for a lot of wrong reasons, like allegedly holding up the delaying completed reports, reawakening approved adults plan and जो auditing होती है उसके लिए. So a developing country to make up for the lost decades that needs to allocate expenditure carefully. So यहाँ पे जो opportunity cost की बात हो रही है, that expenditure has an opportunity cost and the money that doled out to buy votes that can otherwise create much more useful productive capacity in the economy. तो जैसे आपके यहाँ पे बहुत सारी योजनाएं थी, उसके ऊपर जो आपकी पीएम जन धन योजना एंड ऑल, इसके ऊपर जो सीएजी की जो कंसर्न है दैट इज नॉट legitimate in that context, and CAG has been in the news for the wrong reasons, such as fear reports that being put out. So now we got to know the constitutional provision of the CAG and all. Here we have the second article is talking about artificial rain. Basically, artificial rain, that is another name is cloud seeding. The another name of the artificial rain is cloud seeding. So the process, the first cloud seeding, that operation was conducted in the year of 1983, the part of Tamil Nadu. If you talk about in the context of India, it was the first operation that was conducted in the year of 1983 in Tamil Nadu government. So cloud seeding में क्या होता है my friends, एक process होती है that to augment rainfall by spreading either dry ice, जिसे हम कहते हैं more commonly silver iodide aerosols that into upper parts of the cloud to try and stimulate precipitation process for rain. इसमें केमिकल कौन सी यूज़ करते हैं? दैट इज वी यूज सिल्वर आयोडाइड, पोटेशियम आयोडाइड एंड ड्राई आइस. सो मेजरली 3 केमिकल्स इसमें यूज़ करते हैं. वन इज वी कैन से सिल्वर आयोडाइड, उसका होता है पोटेशियम आयोडाइड, एंड द थर्ड वन इज ड्राई आइस विच इज we can say carbon dioxide COT के format में. So cloud seeding chemicals that may be dispersed by aircraft and that using dispersion device on ground generators or canisters that fired from anti-aircraft gun or rocket. And इसको हमने यूज़ किया था इस ईयर में या इससे 2-3 साल पहले. हाँ जी, बिल्कुल यूज़ किया था. दैट वाज यूज्ड इन महाराष्ट्र. तो 2015 में यूज़ किया था. इट वाज ट्राइड इन महाराष्ट्र टू फाइट 4-year लॉन्ग ड्रॉट के लिए. इसकी कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट होती है 2.71 करोड़ उस टाइम में यूज़ हुआ था. एंड जो एक्सपेरिमेंट थी दैट इज कंडक्टेड इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ट्रोपोलॉजिकल मेट्रोलॉजी पुणे रिपोर्ट्स ये बताती है कि इसमें 24% इन्हेंसमेंट होती है प्रेसिपिटेशन में. राइट. हाउ क्लाउड सीडिंग वर्क्स, अगर आप इसमें देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे सिल्वर आयोडाइड को रिलीज करते हैं बाय अ प्लेन और ग्राउंड बेस्ड जनरेटर में. सेकंड स्टेप पे पहुँचते हैं, यहाँ पे इसको जो पार्टिकल्स होते हैं दैट रीच द टारगेटेड क्लाउड्स. थर्ड में जो सिल्वर आयोडाइड होता है इट्स इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ आइस क्रिस्टल्स के फॉर्मेट में. एंड द फोर्थ वन होता है जो आइस क्रिस्टल्स होते हैं दैट बिकम लार्ज इनफ टू फॉल एंड क्रिएट स्नो. Here we have the next article, community rights and forest conservation. So what is the Forest Conservation Amendment Act 2022 and what is the 31-member joint parliamentary committee that decide the, respect to the amendments bill that tabled in the parliament, and why do the central and state government insist on the right to convert forest island into non-forest purpose? आपने देखा होगा मणिपुर में जो अभी क्लैशेस हुए थे, दैट इज 2 ट्राइब्स, दैट इज माइती ट्राइब्स के बीच में हुई थी. सो यहाँ पे मेन उनका कंसर्न क्या था कि बिकॉज सी अगर कोई स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को यहाँ पे फॉरेस्ट की जो लैंड होती है, फॉरेस्ट लैंड को कंजर्व करने के लिए क्या करना होता है? फॉरेस्ट लैंड को कंजर्व करने के लिए आपको क्या करना होता है? मेजरली आपको जो काम करना होता है फॉरेस्ट लैंड को कंजर्व करने के लिए वो होता है आपको वहाँ पे फैक्ट्री इस्टेब्लिश करते हैं. राइट. और जो ट्राइब्स होते हैं कुकी एंड माइथी ट्राइब्स के बीच में क्लैशेस हुए थे और ये ट्राइब्स का मेन काम था बेसिकली फॉरेस्ट लैंड को कंजर्व करना. गवर्नमेंट चाहती है फॉरेस्ट लैंड को हटाने के बाद हम आपको यूथ को जॉब कैसे देंगे, तो बेसिकली मेन पर्पस ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ये क्लैशेस हुए थे और इसके रिजल्ट भी आपको देखी होगी आपने न्यूज़ में. उसके बाद थर्ड है आपका अफर्मिंग प्रायोरिटीज़. और जो प्रायोरिटीज़ हैं वेदर इन द 2+2 डायलॉग दैट आर वोटिंग और इजरायली पैलेस्टीन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, जो इंडिया की पोजीशन है दैट इज और वी कैन से अंडरलाइन इन स्टेक इन द मिडिल ईस्ट. The growing convergence of the India and American perspective on the Middle East is among the main signals for the 5th iteration of the 2+2 meeting dialogues. और ये 2+2 dialogues है इंडिया और यूएस के बीच का है. So the affirmation that Delhi and Washington that stand with Israel against terrorism, that underlines how close the two sides have come in the Middle East. And यहाँ पे India that has condemned Hamas terrorism, because Hamas जो है यहाँ पे that is a militant group है as per the Israel, and while reaffirming its strong commitment to the Palestine statehood. So the nuances in the India's approach to the region is clear from two recent votes in the UN. While India abstained 2 weeks ago from the resolution calling for an end to hostilities between because it did not mention Hamas' use of terror. It voted on November 9 in favor of resolution that condemned Israeli statement activities in Palestinian areas. बात करें जब since independence से, since independence, India and Washington that have been political odds in Asia, and this has begun to change in the last few years as China assertiveness challenged the US in Asia, and that threatened India's Himalayas frontiers and its primacy in the South Asian waters. This led to the Indian government embracing the Indo-Pacific geopolitical constructive that is articulated by the US and receiving the quadrilateral security dialogues, that is a QUAD we talk about. So if you talk about in the geopolitical context, so you should know about the India and the US that is embarked on the cooperative strategy that to address China challenge conventional wisdom, and India that insisted that two might be on the same side of the east of the subcontinent. So these things that you should keep in mind, because Pakistan that has to begin and appreciate its enormous stake in the region. If you talk about Middle East, so the deepening partnership with the US that will reinforce India potential to promote peace and prosperity in the Middle East. Now the next one, यहाँ पे आप बात करें just for the electoral system की. If you talk about यहाँ पे electoral system, so an Indian member of parliament is said to represent 2.5 million citizens on average. In comparison, जो आपका US का है House of Representatives members typically represent approximately 7 lakh citizens. Similarly, in Pakistan, a member of National Assembly is a representative of approximately 6 lakh citizens. मैं इसमें क्या बताना चाहता हूँ? So while the ratio in Bangladesh is closer to approximately 5 lakh citizens, in the year so far, India has around 4126 members in the Legislative Assembly. कितने members, my friends? That is 4,126 members in the Legislative Assembly. 543 हैं आपके यहाँ पे कहाँ पे लोकसभा में 543 and 245 in the Rajya Sabha. So there are far too few parliamentarian assembly or members that are responsible for citizens' welfare in India. Limited representation in a democratic setup seems to be our default presence. So while India does have irremovable grassroots politician, 1,000 plus municipal corporation councils and corporations that between 50 to 100 votes and approximately more than 2 lakhs 38,000 panchayats according to Press Information Bureau data. So meanwhile, our political system is riven with the malappointment, while legislative weight being skewed toward the citizen of selected state. Unlike India, the United States has a political system that seeks to engender inappropriate allocations in a power of that is encouraged. So this is easier in a homogeneous country with a bi-party political system, where the same parties compete across all states. In India, with its heterogeneous political system across states, that malproportionate that can mean empowering select political outfits, and that othered with a sense of different political culture in South and Northeast India that growing one must treat it carefully. On delimitation की बात करें, आपको पता है delimitation का काम क्या होता है. The delimitation basically demarcation of the electoral boundaries in our country. So delimitation that could be a potential solution for the restore proportionality. It has been utilized in the past. 1976 में यहाँ पे my friends during the emergency the number of Lok Sabha seats was frozen with delimitation pushed out in 2001, thus citing ongoing family planning policies with a push to avoid punishing select states and effective population that control measure in places. So delimitation may have resumed when states had reduced their fertility rates, that enabling parity in February 2002, जहाँ पे जो 84th आपकी जो amendments हुई थी, 84th Amendment Act of the Constitution was introduced, which froze the number of Lok Sabha seats until the first census after 2006, that is we can say to 2026 तक. 2026 तक आप इसको change नहीं कर सकते, that is 2031. And with the 2021 census that delayed, now likely to be conducted in 2024 with the results potentially published in 2026 में publish होगी. So that is the main purpose to do this, the promoting federalism. Federalism का मतलब क्या होता है? Division of powers. So beyond this, our electoral system must be reformed. Federalism needs to be promoted by past decades of centralization that have impacted somewhere central state relations, and we need to give states a better voice and platform to represent their interest. So these all things that we should keep in mind. And here revamping the criminal justice system, इसमें जो Indian Penal Code 1860, the Code of Criminal Procedure CRPC 1973 and Indian Evidence Act 1872, which form the basis of criminal justice system. So these bills are being examined by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs. A Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita bill that will replace the IPC, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita bill that will be replaced by CRPC, and the Bharatiya Sakshi bill that will replace the IEA, which is Indian Evidence Act, and that we have discussed in a very detailed manner. And here shadow of risk, इसमें जो आपका SAFREL है, the Center for Advanced Financial Research and Learning, that is an independent body that is set up by the Reserve Bank of India in the backdrops of India's evolving role in the global economy, in the financial service sector, and its position in various international fora. So SAFREL that seeks to develop into a world-class global institution for research and learning in banking and finance. How does electric battery work and what are the different types? यहाँ पे हम बात इसकी क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because यहाँ पे जो electric battery है, that has increased in the penetration of motorization and the lack of wires in our lives. Electric battery hold the release electrical energy that they have acquired by the converting other forms of energy. So what led to the invention of the electric battery? Because जितने भी chemical reactions होते हैं, साइंस में आपने पढ़ी होंगी, are fundamentally about how the electrons in the bonds between atoms and that are rearranged. So the bridge between this fact and the electrochemical cells that were the precursor of modern batteries is most apparent in the experiment. और ये जो you conduct किया था 70-80 में किया था Galvani, that touched together two plates of different metals and they touched both the same time in the frog's legs. So he found that the leg contracted, he could not say why. So 1780 में इसको first time conduct किया गया. So what is the electric battery? Voltaic or galvanic cells that use reactions that to produce electric current, and the cell consists of two half cells. What are the concept of battery? देखो आपको इसमें concept को ये समझने को जो cathode होता है. So cathode is the positively charged electrode that one of the which electrons arrived, and copper in example that जो हमने अभी देखी. So the anode is the negatively charged electrode which supplies electrons in an oxidation reaction. So basically that is a transfer of electrons. So the type of जो battery की बात करें, so जो battery होती है, they are often in the news that these days lithium ion batteries होती है, and the electric vehicles में हम use करते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा. So lithium ion batteries होती है, that won't be developers of the foundation principle in the Nobel Prize of Chemistry 2019. So lithium ion polymer cells that is used in the smartphones in short, and in short that lithium ion polymer cells that is used in the smartphones are lithium metals that oxide in the cathode and graphite is anode. So in a volatilic जो वोलेटिक फेज होता है इसमें लिथियम ऑक्साइड्स जो एनोड एंड रिलीज होती है एज एन इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. सो यहाँ पे अगर बात करें इसका अदर एग्जांपल की, दैट हाइड्रोजन फ्यूल सेल्स की, दैट इज hydrogen fuel cells that are also great interest today as the anode and a catalyst जिसको सेपरेट करती है हाइड्रोजन इनटू प्रोटॉन्स एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में. और जनवरी 2023 में इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने अप्रूव किया 19,744 करोड़ नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन टू मेक इंडिया ग्लोबल हब टू यूटिलाइज एंड एक्सपोर्ट ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन. 19 करोड़ रुपीज़ को खर्च किया, 19,744 करोड़ खर्च किया इन्होंने. किसके लिए? नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन, दैट इज नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन. राइट, चलो अब यहाँ पे पहुँच चुके हैं क्विक टिप्स के ऊपर, जहाँ पे है G7 कंट्रीज. G7 कंट्री एक पॉलिटिकल फोरम है बेसिकली, दैट इज इंटरगवर्नमेंटल ऑफ 7 वर्ल्ड लीडर्स इन एडवांस इकोनॉमीज. So the trick to remembering these G7 countries favorite is juice, जहाँ पे जापान, US, इटली, कनाडा एंड इंग्लैंड. तो आप JUICE से लर्न कर सकते हो और बाद में आपका यहाँ पे G और F में लर्न करो. G stand for Germany and for France. And remembering the type of writs, यहाँ पे CPM headquarters है. C stand for certiorari, P for prohibition, M for mandamus, H for habeas corpus and Q for quo warranto. Now it's time to questions of the day. और यहाँ पे पहला क्वेश्चन है आपके सामने, वर्ल्ड एनर्जी आउटलुक रिपोर्ट को रिलीज़ कौन करता है? जब भी कोई भी रिपोर्ट होती है, कोई भी इंडेक्स होता है, मेक श्योर दैट द फ्यू थिंग्स, द इम्पॉर्टेंट टेकअवेज दैट यू शुड नो अबाउट इज हु पब्लिश दिस रिपोर्ट एंड व्हाट इज द रैंक ऑफ इंडिया एंड व्हिच इज टॉप कंट्रीज एंड द बॉटम कंट्रीज. These all things that you should know about it. और ये आपको रिलीज करती है इंटरनेशनल एनर्जी एजेंसी, दैट C is the right answer. So International Energy Agency World Energy Outlook Report. So according to the International Energy Agency, India is expected to have the highest growth in energy demand over the next 3 decades. However, India's industrial sector that will emit 30% less CO2 by 2030. A movie titled The Man Who Knew Infinity is based on the biography of, और ये है आपकी, great mathematician is Srinivas Ramanujan. Srinivas Ramanujan is a historical arts college student थे. यहाँ पे historical government art college in Kumbhanao that is undergoing the restaurant project. Srinivas Ramanujan was an Indian mathematician that renowned for his extraordinary contribution to the number theory, mathematical analysis and continued fractions. So despite facing initial challenges, he collaborated with British mathematician G.H. Hardy at Cambridge University. National Mathematics Day जो है मनाते हैं यहाँ पे is celebrated on the Srinivas Ramanujan birth anniversary, that is 22nd of December. Bureau of Indian Standards is the national standards body working on the aegis of, ये फर्स्ट वन जो है आपका मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स, फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, ये आपका राइट आंसर है. And which substance is commonly used in cloud seeding to promote the formation of ice crystal in clouds? अभी जस्ट मैंने आपको बताया, that is silver iodide. B is the right answer. Silver iodide is common substance used in cloud seeding. When released into a cloud, silver iodide particles provide a surface for ice crystals to form around, and this process is intended to modify the cloud microphysical properties and potentially enhance precipitation. And the last questions, that is production gap report, is published by the World Trade Organization, World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund and none of the above. सो इसका राइट आंसर है आपका ऑप्शन डी. बेसिकली ये आपको रिलीज कौन करता है यहाँ पे, बाय SEI, स्टॉकहोम एनवायरनमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट, क्लाइमेट एनालिस्ट, E3G, ISD and UNEP, that reveals the concerning trend where government intend to produce approximately 110% more fossil fuels by 2030 than is consistent by limiting global warming, जो कि 1.5 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. So this is all about the session, dear students, and I hope that you enjoyed the session a lot. We'll meet you tomorrow for the same time. So, and please share this video, and make sure if you are new in this channel, please subscribe our channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. So stay tuned. We'll meet you tomorrow for the same time. Till then, bye bye and take care.